first lecture of chapter number 14 of standard 9. The name of the chapter: India, Location, Geological Structure and Physiography, Part 2. We have already studied chapter number 13. So we know well that chapter number 13 and 14 are interconnected chapters. In chapter number 13, we have already studied about location and geological structure of India. This chapter is going to give us information about physiography of India. Let's try to understand the basic meaning of physiography. Physiography means varied landforms available on the earth. The landform which is irregular and has some altitude on the surface of the earth is called physiography. Right? So whatever land area we have on India, that all is different than one another. Right? It is having different land from one another. Based on the physiography, India can be divided into 5 regions. First one, the northern mountainous region. We are talking about northern mountainous regions, which lies here. In short, we are talking about Himalayas, which lies in the northern side of India. So this is our first division in the name of physiographic regions. Second one is Great Northern Plains. Now when I am talking about the Great Northern Plains, I am talking about this area. Right? This is a Great Northern Plain. Plain means a flat area. Northern mountainous regions means there were huge mountains lying. Here it is a flat land which is made because of the deposition of alluvial sediments by the rivers. Right? So this area is Northern Plains. Right? The third division is Peninsula Plateau. As it is talking about the peninsula, we are talking about now these regions of India. Various plateaus lie between these regions, even this is included, between this peninsula. Right? These are the area where we have plateaus. Now what do you mean by plateaus? High area but flat from the top. Right? This area is having an altitude but it is flat from the top. So here we have various plateaus. The fourth classification is coastal plains. Now I am talking about this area. This all is coastal plains. Whatever area which is nearby to the water bodies, that all would be counted as coastal plains. So India is a peninsula country having the long coastal line. So even it has a good amount of coastal plains. And the fifth classification is archipelagos. We have, archipelagos means islands. In India, we have 2 islands, which is Lakshadweep in Arabian Sea and Andaman and Nicobar in Bay of Bengal. This is about the various physiographic region of our country. Right? Now let's try to understand all these 5 divisions in detail. The first such physiographic range is Northern Mountainous Region. Northern Mountainous Region means we are talking about Himalayas. The great mountains of Himalayas pass by India. Right? It is spread over 2,400 kilometers in west-east direction in north. So Himalayas lie in the northern part. In the west-east direction, it goes from west direction towards east, and its length is 2,400 kilometers. Right? Complex of many mountain ranges. Himalaya is not a single mountain. Rather, it is the chain of various ranges of mountain. More than one mountain is called ranges of a mountain. So basically Himalaya is a combination of 3 mountains parallel to each other. Right? It is in the arc shape. What do you mean by arc shape? This is an arc shape. Right? So you are able to see what we have drawn. It is in the arc shape. Right? Its width ranges between 240 kilometers to 320 kilometers. Now I am talking about its width, not its height. I am talking about its width, its spreadable area. Right? It is varying from place to place. It is between 240 kilometers to 320 kilometers. Going towards east from Afghanistan, it extends up to Myanmar. So it's starting from Afghanistan. From there, it reaches to Myanmar, and it goes via through 3 of the other countries, which are India, Nepal and Bhutan. India, Nepal and Bhutan. Right? It goes or it travels via 3 other countries. Starts from Afghanistan, goes to Myanmar via India, Nepal and Bhutan. Part of the mountain system called Pamir Knot. Himalayan mountain system is the part of the whole mountainous region of northern side, which is known as Pamir Knot. Even various other mountains are the part of the mountain system, which is known as Pamir Knot. So Himalayan mountain system is the part of Pamir Knot. Right? We have various other mountains lying here. So these Himalayas are the part of Pamir Knot. Himalayas as a whole, this is the whole Himalayan mountain, can be divided into 2 parts. Northern Himalayas and Eastern Himalayas. Starting from here till this here, this much. This is counted as Northern Himalayas. And from here, starting from here till this portion, it is counted as Eastern Himalayas. So this is the part of Northern Himalayas and this is Eastern Himalayas. So the broader classification of the Himalayas is to Northern Himalayas, Eastern Himalayas. This is Northern Himalayas and starting from here till here, it is Eastern Himalayas. Right? Now let's see or try to understand both the part, Northern Himalayas and Eastern Himalayas in detail. Now let's try to understand the northern Himalayan region. We had just discussed that basic division of Himalayas is done in two categories: northern Himalayas, eastern Himalayas. Till here, whatever mountains are there are all the part of northern Himalayas, and this is the part of eastern Himalayas. Then let's move towards northern Himalayan region first. Northern range is called Greater Himalayas. We have just talked that basically Himalaya is the range of three parallel mountains. 1, 2, 3. So the first Himalaya is known as Greater Himalaya. Parallel to each, the second one is known as Central Himalaya, and the third range is known as Shivalik range. All these three are parallel to one another. So we are talking about the Greater Himalayas first. Right? So the first or the greater range is known as Greater Himalaya. It is the loftiest range. The highest mountains lies in this range, the first range. Right? Mount Everest, which is 8,848 meters high, lies in this range. Right? This range. The name of the Himalaya in Tibet is also Sagarmatha. Right? Even in this range, Greater Himalayan range, many passes lies in this mountain. Now what do you mean by passes? The way along to cross the mountains is known as pass. So many such passes lies in the Greater Himalayas. Some of the passes are Jelabla, Shipkila, Nathula. These all are the names of the passes which are located in the Greater Himalayas. Right? The great sacred place of Kailash Mansarovar is located in this range, which is in China. Right? The other range is known as Central Himalayas. Let's have a look at it also. Moving towards second part of the northern mountainous region, which is Central Himalayas. Right? We have already discussed about the Greater Himalayas. Now we are talking about Central Himalayas. Means the second parallel mountain. We are talking about the northern mountainous region. So only this much we are talking about. Greater, Central, Shivalik. We have discussed about Greater. Now we are talking about Central Himalayan region of northern mountainous region. Right? With the width of ranging 80 to 100 kilometers. In the Central Himalaya, whatever ranges are situated, they all have the width, broadness of the mountains between 80 to 100 kilometers. It includes many other mountain ranges. Small and big peaks lie in this central mountainous region. Even many hill stations like Dalhousie, Shimla, Mussoorie, Ranikhet, Dharamshala, these all are situated in this range. You all might have visited some of the hill stations out of this. Then these all lie in this Central Himalayan region. Even Kulu, Kangra, Kashmir, these all are valley. Now what are the valley? They are down deep, right? Are the part of Central Himalayas. We all know that Kashmir is a valley, right? And it is the part of Central Himalayas, right? So the first one was Greater, second Central. Now moving towards the third range, which is Shivalik range. Moving towards the last range of the northern mountainous region, which is Shivalik range. It is also known as Outer Himalayas. Most of it falls in India, as you are able to see. Most of the portion of this outer range, Shivalik range, falls in India. About 10 to 15 kilometers wide and has an average height of 1000 kilometers. Each and every range lying in the Shivalik range, right, is having 10 to 15 kilometer wide mountain and has an average height of 1000 kilometers. A peculiar valley formation has taken place in this region, which is covered with gravel, stone and thick sediments. Locally, this region is known as dune. Right? Examples of their dune are Dehradun, Patli Dune, Kothari Dune, etc. These all are the places which are created due to the gravel, stones and the thick sediments in this Shivalik region. Right? So this is about the northern mountainous region which we have discussed about. This whole portion is counted into northern mountainous region and this portion is eastern mountainous region. Now we are going to talk about eastern mountainous region, this part. We have already discussed this. Now moving towards this. Moving towards this portion of the Himalayas now, which is known as Eastern Himalayas. This range have lesser and smaller ranges. This part of the Himalayas, which is Eastern Himalaya, have lesser, more number is not there, lesser number of ranges and they are smaller in height too. Among them, Patna Hills are in Arunachal Pradesh, Lushi Hills are in Mizoram, Garo, Khasi and Jaintia Hills are in Meghalaya. These regions have more rainfall. So what has happened? A dense forest have developed here. So in these regions, more dense forests are there. And for that reason, no roads and railways are much developed here. Right? So this is how we are coming to the end of the topic of northern mountainous region. Right? Now the next physiographic divisions we would be discussing in the next lecture. Till then, thank you so much.
आभार।